How should I abbreviate versus? There are 4 types of abbreviations I know for versus. V, versus, versus. I generally use the last one in the list, but I want to stick to one and use only that one. Which one is more proper, or more prevalent, and why? Extra question, which one should be preferred in scientific papers?
In legal contexts, the abbreviation V is used. Elsewhere, the most common is versus. In formal contexts, for example scientific papers, it is probably best to have the period at the end of the abbreviation. I assume you would be using this abbreviation in graphs, charts, titles and things like that. The abbreviation would be appropriate in these places, but not within normal prose of the paper.
Preamble. As well as considering the 4 alternatives listed in the question, I shall also discuss the tendency to italicize them, being of Latin origin, especially when V is used. Thus, there are 8 alternatives. The choice you make depends to some extent on the context, legal V, sport, and whether you are writing American or British English. This is mentioned in a related question on this list regarding versus. Versus and versus. Despite the fact that the Oxford English Dictionary Online ignores it, versus is not only used, but appears to be more common than versus without the point, as shown by cursory browsing, for example below, and this Google Booksengram. However, I must admit I am not sure where this is being used as it is not used in either a legal or sporting context, see below. Someone mentioned a scientific context, but as a professional scientist I can't ever recall using it. Legal use. Both in the US and Great Britain, the traditional legal abbreviation is V. The original tendency to initialize it is illustrated with 2 facsimiles. A. Brown v. Board of Education, 1953. B. Travers v. Wild and Wild, 1864, because of the use of italics for the title of the court case, the setting of V in Roman indicates its italic original. Contemporary usage is unitalicized V, although there is a new tendency to use versus in the US press. This is exemplified by an article in the New York Daily News of May 16, 2015, in which the headline is Brown vs. Board of Ed. Decision? But the modern caption to an original 1954 photo on the same page is Brown v. Board of Education segregation coverage, my emboldening. Sporting fixtures. As far as I can ascertain, the use of V or V in sporting fixtures is a British phenomenon, not found in the US. I have used the England vs Australia cricket fixture to follow the historical usage. A Googlegram shows that for many years V was almost the sole usage, but from the mid-1970s the use of V has grown, so that today it is equally common, and is certainly what will be found on websites, for example BBC Sport. There was low usage of versus, but versus was not found. Whitaker's Almanac for 1946 shows italicization, V, although Hazel's Annual for 1913 does not.
I always use versus. I don't know if this is very useful, hey, but I quote here an answer from Yahoo Answers that might help. Spell out the word versus unless you're reporting game scores. When you would use versus, when you're citing legal documents, use the abbreviation V with the period.
In Westbrook Show, please consider the